Hello, and welcome back, adventurers. For this updated pitch, I'd like to take some time to explain some of the revisions made to the game. I would also like to take the time to clear up some questions and pitch some playability revisions. An epic adventure now includes PvP elements, as well as the ability to collect our Master Storyteller Adventures cards. Epic Adventure will play much like Magic the Gathering or Dungeons and Dragons, but involve a story element, the use of polyhedral dice, and a minute timer. Our MSA also has unique cards in their deck, which our players now have a chance to collect special MSA cards by facing off against the MSA. Our story element comes from the player's cards, much like Magic the Gathering. The story will be at the bottom of the cards, as well as some choices our player needs to make. I also decided to alleviate the use of 3 or 4 different decks between all the players in the MSA. The only difference is the MSA will have different colored cards, which will be added into the story as our adventurers continue on their journey. All MSA cards will also be marked with the MSA logo. Rules have changed just a little bit. You, your opponents, if available, and the MSA will all shuffle their own cards. The players will collectively make a decision on which boss they will fight at the end of every adventure. Adventures will vary from boss to boss. The players will hand the MSA 10 of their own cards. The MSA will shuffle all those cards, then lay down the adventure's path from everyone's deck. The adventurer will now roll, the players will now roll one 6-sided dice to see who will face the MSA first. That player moves their token to one card based on the path they wish to take. The MSA will flip the card, and that player will make his or her decision based on the choices laid on the card. The timer will be turned, and the player must make the decision within the allotted time. Once our player has made his or her decision, they follow the directions based on the decision they made. Our polyhedral dice only come into play based on the choices of the card. For example, our player has the choice to gain experience, a card from the MSA, a card from another player, or piece of armor, etc., etc. If a player receives an MSA card or cards on the next adventure, that player must shuffle those cards into the next deck. This is to gather balance into the game and gives other players and the MSA a chance to gather that card back. If the MSA cannot collect his or her card on the next adventure, that card becomes a permanent card for the use in the player's deck. Once the player has moved to the next area, the turn now goes to the next player, and play continues in the same manner. Our goal remains the same. Our adventurers are on a quest to find and defeat the boss of that particular adventure. Epic Adventure will still match similar games such as Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, and Hand of Fate. The calculated risk for this game may be that too similar to the other games, the appeal of another trading card game may only appeal to small audiences. The scope of the game may still be too large. Might be too many moving parts such as cards, dice, timers, and tokens. It could be too expensive to make. My name is Chris Sherwin, and I thank you for your time.